Good morning and blessings to everyone from Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on the southwest coast of Maine, where we're getting snow and rain and sleet and a combination of wet weather. Uh, Although it's not serious to all of us, the driving is very hazardous and again, we had a day yesterday where it was almost spring-like. So this is the weather of the world. We never know what we're going to wake up to or experience. And it's much like the world around us that we all share, is that we just don't know what we're going to be surrounded by or knowing, what's actually uh, happening within us to uh, deal with all of the things that are changing, both uh, earth-wise and personally human-wise. So today, I really just wanted to do some reading, a couple of readings that one I wrote and one that a dear friend, Karina Shaw, wrote and posted yesterday on Facebook. She read it to me personally several nights ago. And, it's really about deepening into who and what we are and how we're uh, taking this journey of, in many ways, rediscovery. It's a rediscovery of who we are, a rediscovery of how we are to live with each other in the future, how thousands of years ago the our ancestors lived in harmony in their own tribes. And as they expanded into the world and met other tribes, that simplicity and that innocence started to erode and started to become hostile. And the process of ownership and who's in charge and all of these things came about, and they tried to make treaties with each other. They, have tried to get along with each other, yet it was always brought up that there was some kind of part of us that just wasn't getting the whole message of that we are all one humanity. And yesterday in the Global Heart team, uh, this is what the message was really about rehumanizing the global heart. And so today's topic of onward and inward in peace is really appropriate for all of us. And it won't be long because I've just got a couple of readings. But I just want everybody to think about as we move forward into our evolutionary path, what is it that really is important? And know that each one of us have an opportunity to participate in this in ways that we may not have been aware of, or we may wish to do, but we don't feel safe enough, or we don't feel we have the power to do that. And so this is where we're moving onward. and upward, and creating a space for humanity to really take a look at itself as a whole and stop all of this division, stop all of this judgment. Can it be done? I believe it can be done. I believe that it will take for perhaps many generations to do this. But this is the starting point. This is the place now where many of us who are looking at life around us are having a choice to choose. Do I be friendly? Do I be loving? Do I be kind? Or do I take the rule of the role of the victim and and hang on to that belief that everybody is victimizing me? And in as a victim, I need to fight and I need to argue and I need to defend myself. And I'm not saying that all of that is not going to happen, but what I do want to imply for people is that it doesn't have to be the way it has been. And that's the message. The way we have behaved as human beings over the past thousands of years certainly has not been kind to anything that is living. We have now reached a point of pollution in this world, a point of destruction, a point of greed that has never been the likes of here before. And we are the ones who created it. We are the ones who keep sustaining it. And we are also the ones who have the power to change that. So hopefully I'm online. It says I am. And I've had some computer problems this morning with files and blank pages and the normal Friday morning talk stuff that I go through, and I have to just keep laughing. So let us begin with what I wrote yesterday for the Global Heart team. What it was a poem. Every Thursday we meet, and I take about 15 minutes before I go on, and I just tap into my higher self and the divine creator being in me, and write something based on the theme of the day. And so yesterday's theme was rehumanizing, the tricky word, rehumanizing the global heart. Good morning, Victoria. How are you, dear? Blessings to see you. And so I'm just beginning the readings of the day that, and this one is rehumanizing the global heart. Oh, Grace, bless you. You're going to get to hear this poem again. Beloved, Grace is the leader of Global Heart, so it's always a joy to have you here. And so let me begin and read this message to you. Softly I breathe into my heart, seeking the precious connection between us all as humans. There, within that field of heart resonance, true living presence has no enemies. For we are led from the higher self to share equally our loving kindness with all living presence. Love is the essence of living that softens the brittle around us all through compassion and consideration for others. Those attributes are what we are missing in so many ways and need to reestablish within, offering deep consideration for the life of all. And in that opening heart process, we rehumanize humanity with compassion, without struggle, or fear of judgment. Embracing the whole world and lifting it into new dimensions of understanding and the true meaning of love for all. Take a deep breath. Breathe that in. Love for all, the last three words. How important is it to have love for all? Can we do that? The answer is yes, we can. But it takes a retraining of the mind to let go of conflict, to let go of I'm right, you're wrong, of looking at life from a place is what is most beneficial for everyone. And why, if everything and everybody is positively given love, why wouldn't everything change in a way that everyone would have something within them to know that they were loved? And this is part of the problem today is people are not being loved. And people are not loving themselves. It's not just others not loving us. We have been beaten and dragged down to a place of survival, just pure, raw survival. There are thousands, there are millions, I'm going to say probably, of people living on the streets right now in the bad weather, in the extreme heats of other countries, starving, sleeping on the streets, no place to go, no way to feed themselves except for begging. Humanity is far greater than that. And it's time we start to recognize that even though it may not be in our neighborhood, or maybe we may not even see that except on the extreme news or articles, the fact that it is happening is a shame on us. And this love that we need to manifest within us isn't about just being righteous or just being beneficial, but it comes from the divine self that we are. And when I say the divine self that we have forgotten that as children of God, that which we call God, our creator, we weren't put here on this earth to fight and argue and steal and rape and murder each other. This was not what we were here to do. We were to live in harmony and balance with the planet, in the world of abundance, and increase that abundance so that everybody had abundance. Everybody felt love. Everybody felt happiness. We are the ones, not us personally in this moment, but maybe some of them are. But our ancestors have been through this over and over again, and we're just repeating the same pattern they lived through in a different form. And I say this not to upset people, but when I look at my ancestry, and I was talking to the woman next door, and she was talking about her ancestors, and she said she had Italian and French and Irish or English, and she said, I don't know how that happened. And I said, well, I can tell you how it happened. The Romans moved from Italy all the way through to England and killed and raped everybody and everything they could in order to control them. This is history. This is not the history they want to teach children in school. But as a child in school, I knew somehow the truth of what happened. And when I read the history books and I was questioning, I was always ridiculed, and I would ask questions, and the teacher would, that you this just read the history book. We knew that the history books, we knew that the stuff that they were teaching us wasn't the truth. We didn't know how it was not the truth, but we now know when we look back over time, we can see how it's been changed and changed and changed. And even today, they're banning books from schools because they don't want future children to have the ideas and concepts that they can be free, sovereign beings. They want everybody to think of themselves as part of this massive one world scheme. And I call it a scheme because it's led by the corporations and the billionaires and trillionaires of the world who have no real interest in your personal gain or loss other than what they can take and what you can give them. So there's the dark side. The message that my dear friend Karina Shah passed to me and passed to the world the other day is a completely different look at who we are and what's going on. So I want to present this in contrast to what I just said. And then you can decide which do I want to be a part of and who am I in this complete opposite story. Because this story that I'm reading comes through the heart. It comes through years of her working within herself. And these are the gifts that her guides give to her. And we present them to you. And just to think about, to deepen into, and relax and say, oh, okay, maybe there's something, there really is something more than what I think. So, in honor of beloved Karina, who I said read this to me in person, well, on Zoom the other night, and as I listened to her read it, it changed a lot within me to think about how important my role and everybody's role is in coming to know who we truly are. Karina, bless you, dear heart. And she writes, this one is very special to me. Read and share. We are the shining ones. We are here to bless all with the living light of grace. We bring forth a wave of immaculate presence to fill the hearts, souls, bodies, and beings with divine sustenance. A gift of deep nourishment for the aching psyche in search of its true origins. Simple, immaculate, and wholly ever present in this gift of grace shines through us as we honor each life before us. We meet in resonance and welcome each being to open their true nature and shine, to offer the steady hand of our encouragement and say, only you can decide to rise up. We cultivate and encourage growth through inward silent gazing as we sit in our witnessing presence, abiding in our utmost unspoken truth. We came to be here at this time to steady the hearts and minds of those trembling with insecurity as worldviews fall apart. And yet, a new division of awareness is at hand to guide our presence gently home. We are here to restore the original intent of creation with the realization and actualization of our oneness and the unity with the source of all being. God is light, and we are light, for we are made in the name and nature of all that is. At times, it feels like a destabilizing whirlwind of shaking and quaking as the core essence of our being comes back to life after eons of dormancy and sleep. A raging river of light floods the senses as we are carried along in a torrent of love, imploding our emotional body with deep inner knowing and silent, awakening truths. Consciousness itself is experiencing a profound pole shift. All of the old archetypes that have underpinned civilization, outdated narratives, and storylines are dissolving. Foundations upon which we held steadfast in belief are shaking and cracking as the new way pushes up from the core of our divine awareness. Exhausting from clinging to the familiar and comfortable, many simply don't know how to truly let go of their treasured beliefs. There is confusion and uncertainty as pathways once relied upon fade and disappear. What worked before no longer applies. For much of humanity is starving for meaning and deliverance out of the current circumstances. Asking to be shown the way through this narrow passage from one age and epoch into another. How do we clear the confusion that clusters our hearts and distorts our perception of real, deep, and profound connection? We, where, where are we called to be as the great quickening arrives? To this, we offer this answer. We are here to exemplify the way by being the way showers of our individuated acts of inspired creation. We live the way in each breath that is consistently aligned with the heart of our inner glowing awareness. We offer the way through the gathering in sacred circle and upholding counsel in our silent prayers and living light songs of the remembrance and recognition that we are already what we long to become. We instill the way in our daily living as a whole and holy celebration of being, as our food and sustenance of being welcomes others to abide and restore their way of receiving life. Not just as subsistence, but as a revelatory experience of profound existence, rising up from the depths of the soul, finally surfacing after eons of preparation. It is a revelation of a whole new spirit of being, one that co-aligns and coalesces within the acceleration of light entering our hearts. For in truth, it is in the heart of our hearts where all transformation occurs, not the mind. It is not capable of perceiving and conceiving the eternal and infinite shift. Only the heart of the heart, our infinite self, is capable of receiving the harmonizing radiance that fills the instrument of our communion with awareness and awakening to the source of all that is. The heart of our heart is always in direct union with the whole, an inbuilt divine design that is the wholly instilled with the presence of divine reciprocity and devotional love that fills our whole being with the gift of grace. Once the spirit of cosmic unity arises and arrives in the heart, the mind simply aligns with the great unifying principle and bows down in service to the one. It acknowledges and recognizes the luminous leadership of the master presence steaming through, and therefore accedes to the true nature of life, light, and divine love. So we say this unto you, you who are listening and awaiting the call to rise. Arrive and act upon the great inspiration and illumination entering in from your eternal self. We are here for you to simply be with you as you adjust and recalibrate yourself to the ever flowing radiance of soul and source guidance. It is actualizing your true nature. Not to do anything for you, just to abide and stand in your presence as you transition into your effulgent, shining, true nature. We have always, in all ways, been here as individuated guardians, and guides, living human forms offering gifts of the Spirit. We are within you as illumined messages and deep inner knowings. We reside in that powerful place of the utmost high and offer our heart soul presence to those ready to live the true spirit of light and love and life. We offer the wonders and awe of exquisite beauty that crowns your most glorious truth. Just by being here and remaining here until all have passed through the gate of heaven's eternal light. Behold the wonders of your true nature simply by being present in the presence that offers the great wisdom of the ages, of the things that come and go, the impermanence of matter that is ever transmuting and transitioning into new forms of existence. And finally, the eternal promise of the ever-bearing and ever-renewing Spirit of the gift of grace that offers love to all awakening beings. The gift of life and consciousness, that which lives eternally with omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence, is our birthright to return and reattune ourselves to this holy and unbounded truth. Once again, we state in all loving presence, we are here to restore the original intent of creation with the realization and actualization of our oneness and unity with the source of all being. God is light and we are light. For we are made in the name and nature of all that is. May we harmonize our hearts with source of our true nature, and simply live as our natural divinity resounds through all eternity. Remember this: all is innocence. None are to blame. No one did anything wrong. You are not being punished. You are simply coming into the fields of awareness that are fully intact in the wholeness and holiness of your true nature. Karina Shah. Each of you, I know that was long. And it can be found on my Facebook page or Karina's Facebook page. I want you to think about the moments in that reading that hit you with an awareness, with a message that is hopeful, a message that one beautiful soul received and chose to share it with us. And I want you all to come deep into your hearts and know that within this field of unity that we truly are, there is nothing more important than our breathing into our hearts and seeking the connection between us all. And that was my message. And my message follows along in the same pattern that love is the essence of living. And that opening our hearts is the most important thing we can do right now. And I know it hurts. I know there's a lot of things we need to offer forgiveness for and to. And I know the journey is going to be a challenge. On the other day, it hit me as a form of withdrawal. Just like a drug addict or an alcoholic goes through periods of withdrawal that affect both their psychological and their physical beingness. What we're experiencing now is a collective withdrawal from our addiction to power, from our addiction to control. We didn't intend to come this far, to do this as a human species. but we kept going. And now we're at the point where we must return and remember who we truly are as love, as light, as peace. To each of you, I love you. I thank you. I respect you. May each of you open your hearts and not fear, not fear. For you are the amazing grace that exists on earth right now. Love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. I am you. We are unity. Human experience is precious. It's a gift. Let us honor that gift. And let us honor the gift we have in each other. Bless you all for being here. Thank you. I will read your notes. I don't want to keep you longer. I always go over time. I keep thinking, well, I'm going to shorten it this week, but it never happens. And I hope you enjoyed Karina's message, and may you know that that was sent to the world with love and the desire for people to awaken to who they truly are, and how do we learn how relearn how to live in that beautiful energy. See you next Friday. Blessings.